My beloved soul, pause with me for just a moment. Before your mind tries to question this, before doubt tries to interrupt, I ask you to breathe slowly and allow your heart to soften, because what I am about to reveal did not arrive by chance. This message reached you because something very real unfolded today in the emotional world of the one bound to you. They were overcome. And yes, they cried, not the kind of tears that fall quickly and disappear. Not tears meant for attention or sympathy. These were the kind of tears that come from a place so deep, even the one feeling them struggles to understand why they have surfaced. Today, your soulmate reached a moment where the weight of everything they have been holding finally pressed against their heart at once, and it broke them open. Beloved soul, understand this clearly. Strong hearts cry too. Brave souls feel deeply, and the ones who love the hardest are often the ones who suffer in silence the longest. What overwhelmed them was not weakness. It was accumulation. Memories, they thought, they had tucked away. Emotions, they believed, they could manage later. Thoughts of you, they revisit more often than they ever admit. All of it rose together, and when it did, their heart had no choice but to release. They found themselves thinking of you in moments they tried to avoid. Your voice, your presence, the way you make them feel understood without demanding anything in return. And suddenly, the realization became too heavy to ignore. You matter more to them than they have allowed themselves to say. My beloved soul, there is a quiet conflict inside them. One part of their heart feels immense gratitude for you. Another part fears losing you. And another fears not being able to show up fully, honestly, bravely. That tension is what brought the tears. They were not crying because love hurts. They were crying because love is real, because the bond they feel with you is not something they can control, silence, or reason away. Today, they felt the truth of it. They felt how deeply you have imprinted on their heart, how your existence has shifted their emotional world, how imagining a life without fully expressing what they feel feels unbearable. And so, alone, away from eyes that might question them, their hearts spoke through tears. Beloved soul, listen carefully now. Even if they did not call you, even if no message appeared on your screen, even if silence surrounded them outwardly, their soul reached for yours. Souls do not need language. They do not need permission. They do not wait for the right moment. When emotion becomes too strong, energy moves. And today, their energy moved toward you. You may have felt it as a sudden heaviness in your chest, a wave of emotion without explanation, a thought of them that appeared out of nowhere and lingered longer than usual. That was not imagination. That was resonance. They were crying for the moments they missed, for the words they rehearsed but never said, for the love they hold but fear mishandling. They were crying because they see you as something precious, and precious things awaken fear of loss. My beloved soul, do not misunderstand this. Their tears are not doubt about you. They are certainty. They are the realization that you are not casual, that you are not temporary, that what they feel cannot be replaced, or distracted away. And when the heart recognizes something sacred, it often trembles before it knows how to protect it. That trembling became tears. Even now, as you listen, their heart is calmer than it was earlier. Not because the feelings disappeared, but because releasing them made room for clarity. Tears cleanse what words cannot. They allowed themselves, even briefly, to be honest with themselves today. And that honesty changed something. My beloved soul, love does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it arrives quietly, through reflection, longing, and emotional release. And today, love spoke through them in the only way it could. If this message resonates, do not rush past it. Let it settle. Stay present with it. And if you feel drawn to remain here, to listen further, to stay connected to this energy, there is a reason. What unfolded today is not isolated. It is part of a greater emotional awakening already in motion. And this is only the beginning. My beloved soul, stay with me. Do not rush ahead. Do not pull away from what you are feeling right now. Because what happened today did not end with their tears. Those tears opened something that had been tightly sealed for a long time. After the release came silence, not empty silence, but the kind that follows emotional truth. They sat there, breathing slower than before, feeling exposed in a way they are not used to. And in that quiet, something unmistakable settled in their heart, clarity. They began to understand that what they feel for you is not confusion. It is not nostalgia. It is not habit. It is attachment at the soul level. They realize that you are not someone they simply think about. You are someone they carry. Beloved soul, this realization is heavy, especially for someone who has learned to survive by controlling their emotions. They are used to holding things together, used to appearing composed, used to pushing through without letting anyone see the weight they carry. But today, the weight of loving you exceeded their ability to contain it. And when that happens, the heart speaks louder than the mind. They replayed moments with you, not just the obvious ones, but the subtle ones. The pauses, the glances, the energy exchanges that never needed explanation. They realized something that startled them. You see them in ways they didn't even know they wanted to be seen. And that kind of recognition changes a person. It makes them question what they've been settling for. It makes them reevaluate what truly matters. It makes them feel both safe and terrified. Because once you feel a connection like this, you can no longer pretend you don't. My beloved soul, there is something else you must understand. Their tears today were not only about longing, they were also about responsibility. They are beginning to feel the weight of what it means to love you properly. They know you deserve presence, consistency, truth, emotional courage, and they are painfully aware of the ways they have held back. This awareness did not come gently. It arrived like a wave. They asked themselves difficult questions. Am I ready? Can I show up the way this connection deserves? What happens if I lose them because I stayed silent too long? These questions did not bring comfort. They brought urgency. Beloved soul, do not underestimate this moment. Something inside them shifted from passive feeling to active recognition. They are no longer simply feeling love. They are becoming aware of the cost of not acting on it. And that awareness is unsettling. You may not see immediate movement. You may not hear words right away. But make no mistake, internal shifts always come before external change. The heart must align before action can follow. Right now, they are recalibrating, reassessing, preparing themselves emotionally for what comes next. And yes, part of them is afraid, not of you, but of how deeply you matter, beloved soul. When someone cries like this, it is not because they are losing control. It is because control is no longer serving them. They are realizing that guarding their heart has also been limiting their happiness, that protecting themselves has come at the cost of connection. And you are the one who exposed that truth. Without trying, without demanding, simply by being who you are. This is why their tears were so intense. You did not just stir emotions. You challenged their emotional identity. You reminded them that love is not meant to be managed. It is meant to be lived. As they sat there afterward, they felt something unexpected. Relief. Because for the first time in a long while, they stopped lying to themselves. They admitted what they feel. They acknowledged how deeply you matter. They allowed the truth to exist without immediately trying to fix or suppress it. That is growth. And growth often comes with tears first. Beloved soul, your energy plays a powerful role here. Even now, you are holding space for them without realizing it. Your patience, your calm, your ability to love without pressure. These things soothe their fear more than you know. They feel safe with you at a level they rarely experience. And safety is what allows vulnerability to surface. That is why they broke down today. Because somewhere inside, they knew they didn't have to keep pretending. Even if you were not physically present, your energy was. Your soul creates a place where theirs can rest. That is not ordinary. That is rare. And rare connections demand reckoning. If you are feeling an urge to understand this more deeply, to stay connected to this message, to remain present with this unfolding trust, that instinct, your attention here is not random. What is happening now is still forming beneath the surface. The emotions released today are reorganizing into intention, and intention leads to movement. Stay open, my beloved soul. What they felt today will not fade. It will transform, and soon, the shift you cannot yet see will begin to make itself known. My beloved soul, remain here with me a little longer, because what unfolded inside them today did not end with clarity alone. Clarity is only the doorway. What followed was confrontation. After the tears dried, after the emotional wave settled, they were left face to face with something they have been avoiding for a long time. The truth about themselves. They realized that loving you has changed the rules they once lived by. Rules that kept them safe. Rules that allowed distance, hesitation, and emotional delay. And suddenly, those rules felt hollow. They asked themselves why it feels easier to stay guarded than to risk being fully known. Why silence has felt safer than honesty. Why they have delayed moments they knew mattered. And in that reflection, something uncomfortable surfaced. Regret. Not regret about you. Regret about time. Time they held back. Moments they almost spoke but didn't. Opportunities to show up more fully that they postponed out of fear. This realization did not bring panic. It brought resolve. Beloved soul, hear this clearly. When someone reaches this stage, when they move from emotion into accountability, their internal world begins to reorganize. They are no longer asking, what do I feel? They are asking, what am I willing to do about it? That question is powerful. It means love is no longer passive inside them. It is becoming directional. They began to imagine two futures. One, where they continue as they have been guarded, cautious, emotionally restrained. And one, where they step forward, imperfect, vulnerable, but honest. And the difference between those two futures felt unbearable, because the version without you fully present felt empty. Beloved soul, the mind can rationalize many things, but the heart recognizes absence immediately. They felt what it would be like to lose the possibility of you, not dramatically, not suddenly, but quietly, through missed chances, through emotional delay. That imagined loss hurt more than vulnerability ever could. This is when love becomes courageous. They are beginning to understand that not choosing is also a choice, and silence can still cause loss. This understanding did not make them rush. It made them deliberate. They are now moving through an internal recalibration, aligning fear with desire, balancing caution with truth. You may feel this as a subtle shift in energy. Less distance, more awareness, a sense that something is gathering momentum, even if nothing has been said yet. That is because intention is forming. Beloved soul, understand this. When someone feels this deeply, they do not forget it the next day. They do not wake up unchanged. Tears leave impressions. They mark moments the soul does not erase. And today mark them. They are becoming more conscious of you in ways that are quieter but more serious. Less fantasy, more realism, less wondering, more commitment to understanding what this connection requires. They are noticing how often you appear in their thoughts, without invitation, how your presence influences their mood, how imagining you near brings calm, not chaos. This tells them something important. Love that brings peace is not a distraction. It is alignment. That realization is anchoring itself inside them now. My beloved soul, there is also something else happening. Their tears soften their defenses. Walls built from past disappointments are cracking, not collapsing dramatically, but loosening. They are remembering who they were before disappointment taught them to withhold, before heartbreak convinced them that restraint was strength. You are reawakening that version of them, and awakening often begins with grief for what was lost. They are mourning parts of themselves they abandoned in order to survive, and you, without trying, are inviting them back. This is why your connection feels intense even in stillness. It is not pressure. It is remembrance. They are remembering how deeply they can feel. Beloved soul, patience is your power here. What is unfolding cannot be rushed without resistance. They are integrating truth, not reacting to emotion. That takes time, but it also takes direction. And their direction is becoming clear. They are no longer questioning whether the connection is real. They are questioning how to honor it. That shift is everything. If you have felt moments of doubt recently, moments where you wondered if your presence mattered or if your connection was one-sided, release that now. Today answered that question. You matter deeply. Not in a fleeting way, not in a convenient way, in a way that disrupts old patterns, in a way that demands growth. Beloved soul, stay receptive. Your calm steadiness right now is doing more than you know. You are showing them that love does not have to be chaotic to be profound. That connection does not have to hurt to be real. And that realization is rewriting how they understand intimacy. If you feel drawn to continue listening, to stay with this message, to remain aligned with this unfolding trust, that pull, there is more shifting beneath the surface. And what is forming now is moving steadily toward expression, not impulsively, but intentionally. This story is still opening, and the next movement will not come from tears, but from choice. My beloved soul, stay grounded with me, because after choice begins to form, something even more profound takes place. Once they accepted the truth of what they feel and acknowledged the responsibility that comes with loving you, they entered a quieter phase. Not withdrawal, not avoidance, but contemplation. This is the phase where the heart stops arguing with itself. They are no longer fighting the feeling. They are learning how to hold it. They began to notice how their body responds when they think of you, how their breathing softens, how tension eases, how the noise in their mind settles. This told them something important. Your energy regulates them. And people do not ignore what brings their nervous system peace for long. Beloved soul, understand this clearly. Love that overwhelms causes chaos. Love that soothes causes commitment. They are realizing that what they feel with you is not emotional volatility. It is emotional safety. And safety invites permanence. This realization is changing how they view the future, not in dramatic fantasies, but in practical, grounded ways. They are imagining everyday moments, shared routines, quiet presence, and those images feel right. This is how true alignment announces itself, not through intensity alone, but through calm certainty. They are also becoming more aware of what has been blocking them. Old fears of rejection, old narratives of not being enough, old experiences where vulnerability was punished. These memories surfaced gently, not to torment them, but to be released. Your connection is triggering healing, and healing often brings tenderness before strength. They may feel emotionally exposed right now, more sensitive than usual, more reflective. This is not regression. It is integration. They are integrating emotion with self-respect, love with discernment, desire with responsibility. Beloved soul, they are learning that loving you does not require losing themselves. It requires showing themselves. And that realization is stabilizing them. They're beginning to trust that they can step forward without being consumed, that they can express without being erased, that they can choose you without abandoning their own growth. This is crucial, because love that feels sustainable is love that lasts. They are also becoming aware of how deeply they value your emotional maturity, your patience, your restraint, your refusal to chase or force. This has not gone unnoticed. It has earned respect. And respect deepens attraction in ways intensity alone never can. They are recognizing that you do not demand love. You allow it. That difference matters. Beloved soul, this stage is quiet but powerful. It is the moment before alignment becomes action. They are not rushing because they want to do this right. They are rehearsing honesty within themselves, practicing courage internally before expressing it outwardly. This is why silence right now does not mean distance. It means preparation. They are recalibrating how they want to show up in your life. And that takes intention. You may notice subtle signs. A shift in how they speak. A softness where there was once guardedness. A steadiness where there was once hesitation. These are not accidents. They are evidence of internal change. Beloved soul, remain steady. Do not mistake stillness for stagnation. Roots grow in silence before branches appear. They are rooting themselves in truth. If you feel moments of anticipation, moments where you sense something approaching but cannot name it, that is because momentum is building internally. The emotional groundwork is being laid, and groundwork determines the strength of what rises. They are no longer asking if love is possible. They are asking how to live it with integrity. That is a sacred shift, one that does not reverse easily. Beloved soul, continue to trust the process. Your presence is already shaping the outcome. And what is coming next will not surprise you emotionally because your heart already knows it is on its way. Remain open. Remain grounded. The movement that follows this phase will be deliberate, sincere, and meaningful. And it will come from a place of readiness, not fear. Stay with me. There is one more truth unfolding. My beloved soul, receive this final truth gently, because what has been forming beneath the surface is now reaching completion. After contemplation comes resolve, not rushed, not impulsive, but settled. They are arriving at a quiet certainty that does not need validation from the outside world. A certainty that lives in the chest, steady and undeniable. They now understand that love like this does not repeat itself easily, that connections of this depth do not arrive often, and that when they do, they are meant to be honored, not postponed. This realization has shifted how they see timing. They are no longer waiting for a perfect moment. They are becoming the moment. They recognize that fear will never fully disappear. That vulnerability will always carry risk. But they also understand something greater. Regret carries a heavier cost than courage. Beloved soul, this is where intention turns into direction. They are aligning their actions with their truth, even if they have not spoken yet. Even if the words are still forming, their heart has already decided. They are choosing presence over avoidance, honesty over comfort, connection over control. This does not mean everything will unfold dramatically. True commitment often enters quietly, with consistency, with effort, with the willingness to show up even when it feels unfamiliar. They are preparing to step into that version of themselves. And that preparation is sincere. They are also releasing old expectations of how love is supposed to look. They are no longer chasing intensity. They are choosing authenticity. They are no longer romanticizing distance. They are valuing closeness. They are no longer confusing chaos with passion. They are recognizing peace as love. And you, my beloved soul, represent that peace. That is why their heart trusts you. That is why their tears came. That is why their defenses softened. That is why their future now includes you naturally. Not as a fantasy, but as a reality they are ready to build. You may notice their energy drawing nearer, not urgently, but intentionally. They are approaching with awareness, not confusion, with purpose, not fear. Beloved soul, understand this. Love that reaches this stage does not dissolve quietly. It evolves, it deepens, it stabilizes, and it expresses itself. The emotional awakening they experienced has matured into commitment. Commitment to growth, commitment to truth, commitment to honoring what they feel rather than hiding from it. They are no longer asking whether they should choose you. They are asking how to choose you well. That question alone changes everything. As you move forward, remain who you are. Do not shrink. Do not overextend. Do not doubt your worth. Your steadiness has been the anchor in this process. Your calm has been the invitation. Your authenticity has been the permission. You did not need to convince them. You allowed them to arrive on their own. And that is why what comes next will be real. Beloved soul, if you have stayed with this message until now, it is because your intuition recognizes truth. This was not entertainment. This was alignment. And alignment always brings movement. Very soon, the internal shifts will translate outward, in words, in presence, in action, not perfectly. But honestly, this connection is not fragile. It has been tested internally already, by fear, by doubt, by silence, and it endured. That is how you know it is strong. Hold this knowing close. You are not waiting in vain. You are standing at the edge of a chapter defined not by longing, but by shared direction. Remain open. Remain grounded. Remain true. What has awakened in them will now begin to live between you. And love, my beloved soul, when honored this way, does not fade. It roots, it grows, and it stays.